Hi guys, welcome back for another episode of Wake Up CX. So this week I want to look at IVRs, and more specifically I would like us to come up with a solution to stop the dreaded please hold while I transfer you. I don't know about the rest of you all, but I absolutely hate it when I ring up a contact center and I get transferred back and forth. Absolutely hate it. Big companies are the worst for this because rather than it just being one question, do you want sales? Do you want billing? Whatever. They tend to go down like 3 or 4 layers deep in an IVR. And as you get towards the tail end of that, the queries are kind of off what I originally rang about. And it makes you question, did I select the wrong option earlier on? Or have they just completely misinterpreted it, or have they missed out my query and they don't have a department for that? And it's really awkward because when you do get through to them and you explain why you've chosen them, why you've got to them, what you need help with, more often than not, these people have the knowledge of this one specific query or one department and they can't help. So they have to transfer you. And they don't understand your query any more than you do. So they don't always transfer you to the right place anyway. So you end up going through to one department and being explaining yourself and be told, please hold, I need to transfer you. You go through, you explain your query again, even more in more detail, trying to give them everything they could possibly need to solve it. And they say the exact same thing. Sorry, you've come through to the wrong department. Please hold, I need to transfer you. It's hell. From a customer perspective, it's the worst thing that you can do to us. Like, it's awful because we end up keep repeating ourselves. So there's two sides to this story. You've got the customer side and you've got the business side. So from the customer side, when we ring up, we're looking to get an issue resolved. We're looking to get information and fix a problem, whatever that is. And getting through to the correct people shouldn't be like working your way through a maze. It needs to be simple. As a business grows, it makes sense that you need to sort of filter these people, filter your customers down to the correct departments as the business grows. That makes sense, but don't get too complex. 1, 2 layers max. Don't go any deeper than that because at that point, your IVR is asking granular questions that you shouldn't be expecting your customer to understand. It's not necessary. Just once you hit that second layer and you've got, say, 4 queries, so it's that 4, 8, 12, 16 different departments of queries that we're dealing with here. And when you get through to them, they need to have a rough, broad knowledge so that they can handle those queries. Because when it gets too granular, they can't help and it leads to that transferring nightmare. You always want these guys that are on the end of the phone to understand their segment of the business really well. Now, if they do need to transfer, sometimes that's going to happen. Don't just blind transfer the call. Don't say, I'm going to pop you on hold, I'll transfer you through. Let the customer hear a ringtone and randomly they're speaking to someone new. Call through for them. Call through on behalf of the customer. Speak to the person in the other department. This is why I'm transferring them to you. Is this something you can resolve? This is all the customer's details. And now I'm just going to connect them to you. And that way, the customer doesn't have to repeat themselves, explain why they've rang up again and again. And if you were to go through to the wrong department, you could say, all right, okay, who do I need to speak to? And you go to the correct department and then go through that process explaining it again so that the customer doesn't have to. Customers should never have to say the same thing twice. Don't make them. It's infuriating. It makes you feel like you're not being heard, not being understood. Take the ownership to solve that query. Now, from a business perspective, as your business grows and things get more complex and you've got a huge volume of customers to deal with, bringing in new staff to handle this volume of queries takes time. So by having a really granular IVR, you're thinking, my setup time, my embed time for new staff is great. I can lose staff, bring in new staff, I can train them in a day, get them on the phones by the end of the week, no problem. Everything's great. And that helps when you've got high turnover. But it also means that you're setting people up to fail because all these new staff that you're bringing in are going to be getting a lot of queries they can't answer, and they're going to go home feeling like, what am I doing? and they're going to quickly looking for the exit out of the business. So take a little bit longer with your onboarding process to train these staff properly so that when they're speaking to customers, they can actually help them. They can resolve the queries, teach them proper customer service skills. Not just how quick can we churn through a queue, but how effectively can we clear that queue so that these customers don't need to ring us back. That should be the goal. You want to end every query without the customer needing to contact you back. And if they do need to, make it so you're the one reaching out to them. You're giving them the update. So when it comes to IVRs, yes, you may need them. They are a necessary evil as your business grows, but try to keep them simple. Please stop using AI and bots and all of this to get customer information while they're ringing. You ring up and it's, please could you give us your account number? And then, could you please confirm your full address and postcode? So you read it out to this machine and then it puts you through to a customer service advisor. The first question, could you please tell me your account number? Why did I just tell it to the bot? Now, I've been ringing customer contact centers and customer service advisors for years now, since this technology was brought out, and I've not once not had to repeat myself. So why get a bot to ask me? It just means I'm pushing more buttons, I'm more annoyed, because the moment I get through, I expect to be, right, this is how we're going to resolve my issue. So if you can't do that, and you're going to have to ask customers to repeat themselves, don't get a bot to do it. Connect people with people. If I wanted to engage with a bot, I would do so. When I pick up a phone, I am looking to speak to a person. We're looking to resolve our issue by speaking to another human who can understand our situation, I can't even say that word, can, can show empathy towards our situation and our experience and help us get a resolution that works. We're not looking to be treated en masse and dismissed. So please just connect us with a human. Don't make it overly complex and make it so when we do reach someone, these people are trained in how to help us. That's all we're asking for. So yeah, IVRs are needed. Analyze your call volumes, take all the metrics off the back of that to redesign your IVR. But even then, don't do that too frequently either. Because if you're changing your IVR every week, your customers that are needing to ring back are just going to keep going to the wrong department, which doesn't help anybody. So yeah, that's my bugbear in contact centers. So how do you all feel about IVRs? What was your most recent experience? Have you ever actually found a bot that worked when ringing up a contact center? Please, if you have, give me the number. I want to ring it just to get that off my chest. But yeah, that's it for this week. I'm going to take some time to think up next week's episode. If you've got any ideas or you want to share any insights or experiences you've had, please drop me a message, leave a comment on LinkedIn, whatever it takes. Just please get in touch. Let's have a conversation. I look forward to hearing from you, and I hope you enjoyed this week's episode. Thank you.